Welcome to Nepal, land of Everest and Yeti, not the cool band. Nestled between the giants of India and China, Nepal is a small country with a big heart and even bigger mountains. This is a place where the air is thin, but the experiences are rich and full of life. Yo, Nepal! This place is so epic they named Mount Everest after it. Well, not really, but it's home to the tallest mountain on Earth, standing at a staggering 29,032 feet. Climbers from all over the world come here to test their limits and reach the roof of the world. Okay, maybe not, but still. We're talking breathtaking Himalayas, ancient temples, and enough vibrant culture to make your head spin faster than a prayer wheel. Kathmandu, the capital, is a sensory overload with its bustling markets, historic sites, and the ever-present scent of incense in the air. Nepal is like that friend who's always down for an adventure, whether it's trekking through jungles, meditating in monasteries, or just chilling with a cup of chai and some killer views. The Annapurna Circuit and Everest Base Camp treks are just a couple of the epic trails that draw adventurers from around the globe. It's a place where spirituality meets stunning scenery, and where history whispers from every brick and stupa. The ancient city of Bhaktapur is like stepping back in time, with its well-preserved architecture and timeless traditions. But don't think Nepal is stuck in the past. It's got Wi-Fi, guys. Modern cafes and co-working spaces are popping up, blending the old with the new in a seamless dance of tradition and technology. And while it might not be Silicon Valley, they've traded their yak caravans for online shopping. Yet the charm of the traditional ways remains, with yak caravans still a common sight in the mountains. Don't worry, they kept the yaks. Those things are fluffy. These gentle giants are an integral part of the high-altitude lifestyle, providing milk, wool, and companionship to the mountain dwellers. So, buckle up, Buttercup, as we take a wild ride through Nepal's history, from ancient times to today. From the unification of Nepal by King Prithvi Narayan Shah to the modern-day republic, the history here is as rich and layered as the land itself. Prepare yourself for epic battles, legendary kings, and maybe even a Yeti sighting. Spoiler alert, you won't see a Yeti. But the stories and legends are as real as the mountains that cradle this enchanting land. Let's rewind to the days before social media, before electricity, even before sliced bread. Gasp. Yeah, we're talking way back. We don't have Instagram influencers to tell us about ancient Nepal, so we have to rely on those old-school influencers, archaeologists. Turns out, people have been chilling in Nepal for over 11,000 years. Back then, life was all about hunting, gathering, and probably complaining about saber-toothed tigers. No Uber Eats, no problem. What's super cool is that Nepal sits right between two ancient civilizations, India and China. It's like being at the world's oldest, coolest cultural crossroads. And you know what happens at crossroads? Awesome fusion food, that's what. Fast forward a few centuries and things are starting to heat up in Nepal. We're talking royal dynasties, power struggles, and more drama than a reality TV show. Think Game of Thrones, but with better scenery and way less incest. First up, the Licchavi dynasty, ruling from around 400 to 750 AD. These guys weren't messing around. They established a powerful kingdom, built magnificent temples, and basically laid the foundation for Nepal as we know it. Think of them as the original hipsters, but with like actual power. Then came the Malla dynasty, who held it down for another few centuries. They were all about art, culture, and building even more impressive palaces and temples. They were basically the Renaissance artists of Nepal, but with less nudity and more, temples. Section 4, Prithvi Narayan Shah, the OG Unifier. No, not a tech startup. Imagine a time before Nepal was, well, Nepal. Picture a land divided into numerous small kingdoms, each with its own ruler, its own army, and its own ambitions. It was a fragmented landscape, a patchwork of territories constantly at odds with each other. Instead, it was a bunch of smaller kingdoms, all vying for power. These kingdoms were like pieces of a puzzle that just didn't fit together, each one trying to outdo the other. It was messy, kind of like your kitchen after a late-night snack attack. Imagine the chaos, the disarray, the lack of unity. That's what ancient Nepal looked like. Enter Prithvi Narayan Shah, the king of Gorkha and the ultimate unifier. He saw the potential for a unified Nepal and decided to take on the monumental task of bringing these disparate kingdoms together. This guy was like the Beyoncé of 18th century Nepal. He had the charisma, the vision, and the determination to make things happen. He was charismatic, ambitious, and everyone wanted to be him, or at least be ruled by him. His leadership style was both inspiring and commanding, making people believe in his vision. He conquered those scattered kingdoms one by one like he was collecting stamps. Each victory brought him closer to his dream of a unified Nepal, and finally unified them all under his rule in 1768. This was no small feat. It required not just military might but also diplomatic finesse. Talk about a power move. His unification of Nepal was a game-changer, setting the stage for the nation's future. Prithvi Narayan Shah wasn't just about brute force though. He understood that true power came from strategic thinking and long-term planning. He was also a shrewd strategist and a visionary leader. He laid down policies that would ensure the stability and prosperity of the newly unified kingdom. He established a strong central government, promoted trade, and encouraged cultural exchange. His vision extended beyond mere conquest. He wanted to build a nation that could stand the test of time, and basically set the stage for Nepal to become the badass nation it is today. His legacy is a testament to what visionary leadership can achieve. Section 5. Shah Dynasty and Rana Rule. Like a Bollywood movie, but longer. With Nepal unified, the Shah Dynasty settled in for a good, long reign. This wasn't just a brief chapter in history, it was an epic saga that spanned generations. The Shahs were more than just rulers, they were the architects of a unified Nepal, bringing together diverse cultures and traditions under one banner. We're talking centuries of kings, queens, and enough palace intrigue to make your head spin. Imagine a world where every day brought new plots, alliances, and betrayals. The court was a hotbed of political maneuvering, with each royal member playing their part in this grand drama. It was like a never-ending soap opera, but with fewer shoulder pads and more tigers. The opulence of the palaces, the grandeur of the ceremonies, and the sheer scale of the royal lifestyle were something to behold. Every event was a spectacle, every decision a potential turning point in the story of Nepal. But hold up! Because here come the Ranas. Just when you thought the story couldn't get any more dramatic, the Ranas entered the scene. They were like a plot twist that no one saw coming, changing the course of Nepalese history in profound ways. This powerful family swooped in during the 19th century and basically became the power behind the throne. They were the puppet masters, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Their influence was so pervasive that it reshaped the entire political landscape of Nepal. Imagine them as the ultimate stage parents, but instead of pushing their kids into show business, they were calling the shots for the entire country. They orchestrated everything, from political decisions to social reforms, ensuring that their vision for Nepal was realized. The Rana regime was a time of both progress and oppression. On one hand, they initiated modernization projects that brought Nepal into a new era. On the other hand, their grip on power was ironclad, stifling any opposition and maintaining a strict social hierarchy. They modernized Nepal in some ways, but they also held on to power pretty tightly, which, isn't cool. Their rule was a paradox of progress and repression, a time when the country took significant steps forward, while also being held back by the very hands that guided it. Think of them as that friend who always hogs the remote control. They had the power to change the channel of Nepal's destiny, but they often kept it tuned to their own interests. Their legacy is a complex one, marked by both advancements and the heavy cost of their dominance. Section 6, From Monarchy to Democracy, Nepal gets a 21st century makeover. Fast forward to the late 20th century and the winds of change are blowing through Nepal, bringing new hopes and aspirations. People are tired of the monarchy and ready for a more democratic vibe, yearning for freedom and representation. Cue the protests, the movements, and the eventual abolishment of the monarchy in 2008. It wasn't always easy, and there were definitely some bumps along the way, with many challenges faced. But Nepal eventually transitioned to a democratic republic, marking a new era. It was a huge moment, like finally getting that promotion you've been working towards, a dream come true. Section 7. Nepal. Now still awesome, still climbing mountains, still serving momos, so here we are in Nepal today, a vibrant democracy nestled in the lap of the Himalayas. It's a place where ancient traditions meet modern aspirations, where you can find peace and tranquility amidst the hustle and bustle of Kathmandu. Nepal is still figuring things out, just like the rest of us. But one thing's for sure, this little nation has a big heart, a resilient spirit, and enough natural beauty to make you forget all about your Instagram feed. So, what are you waiting for? Book that ticket, pack your bags, and get ready to experience the magic of Nepal for yourself. Just don't forget your hiking boots and your appetite for adventure.